Hey guys, welcome to ILGLCL2 and this is Amateur League for a battle for the third place between team FilthyFresh and FunkyTownMonkeyPimps. So yeah, you have on the team of FunkyTown, you see Annie, LeBlanc and Blitzcrank band, whereas you see Rumble, Talon and Lissandra bands coming in from Team FilthyFresh. So no surprise bands there other than probably the Annie, which isn't exactly ban worthy in the Indian League of Legends. It's because it's not played as much, though it is individually a very strong champion. Just don't know why it's not all that popular in the pro levels of gameplay. Nonetheless, we have it banned. We won't be seeing it for this game. And we see Captain Diablo picking up Jinx. So, Jinx being locked in means that Jinx as a champion is very strong late game and not all that powerful early unless you are very good mechanically. So, nonetheless, if you're good or bad mechanically, you would need peel for a champion like Jinx. So you'll have to see someone like Jana or Nami picked up by Team FunkyTown, and yeah, so the Team FilthyFresh is hovering over Rek'Sai and Akali. Akali is also a new pick if it gets locked in the ILGLCL. Rek'Sai is pretty OP at the moment, and it's not all that new here in ILG. So we could see the Rek'Sai being locked in for sure. Yeah, and there it is. And Akali is locked in as well, so that's surprising. Akali works good. I mean, Akali, it's a flex pick. You can take it mid or top lane. Let's see where it will go eventually. It could probably be top in this case, considering they picked it in advance, and Fawaz is the last pick, meaning he could be the one going mid. Nonetheless, it's a flex pick, anybody could take Akali, so let's see. While FunkyTown has picked Maokai and Jarvan, Maokai is very popular in the meta as well as in the ILG. Let's see if it gets locked in. I like the Maokai pick. It can offer a lot of peel for the Jinx and a lot of tankiness to for the purple team to get through. While we see Wasi thing hovering over Tristana and Little Miss Sunshine hovering over the Nami. While Caitlyn gets picked up for Wasi thing, which means both AD carries are very strong late game, but it completely depends on how much the Caitlyn can take advantage over the Jinx in lane. If she manages to make use of a long range and poke Jinx out, she will win the lane, but if she fails to do so, Jinx will have better trades in between auto attacks and she will come out ahead. So if this has to go well, the Caitlyn has to play this early matchup really right. So yeah, and we do see Waz 92 going in for the Vel'Koz, which again is a surprise pick, not all that popular. Morgana is fair for peel. He has to stay nearby Jinx all the time, make sure Jinx doesn't get bubbled or dived on by the Akali. She has to peel for the Jinx against Akali. They have a frontline damage coming in from FilthyFresh with Rek'Sai, Akali and probable Zed, which means there isn't any hard tank. Means Akali is going top mostly, I guess. We see Yasuo being hovered over. Yasuo could be actually a very good pick for this team comp, considering they have Nami for knockup and they have Rek'Sai is huge knock-up as well. So Yasuo could actually work really well, or could they just end up picking a Jax top lane against a Maokai? Power 7 does lock in the Jax, so that will be a Jax top lane and an Akali mid lane. So Jax is a hyper carry late game, but I do feel it's not all that great for team fights unless you get a very good flank, unlike the Maokai, which can just go straight ahead and lock anybody right in front of you. Maokai could even lock in Jax or Rek'Sai, and Maokai doesn't have to get to the back line because he is very tanky, and it'll take a lot of damage from FilthyFresh to take him down. They have to use a solid brick wall, whereas Jax is not all that tanky. He's mostly a damage dealer. He's more of a stronger split pusher. So let's see if Fawaz uses Jax right and makes use of his split pushing power more efficiently. So yeah, meanwhile the siege from Caitlyn is strong. If Team FilthyFresh manages to siege FunkyTown, but then it will backfire if Caitlyn is the one being sieged, because doesn't offer much when she's under siege, especially when they have so much of poke coming in from FunkyTown with Vel'Koz and Jinx. Jinx has a long range Q which she can use to poke out, or she can use a W, long range W, which does quite a lot of damage. Anyways, looking at the team compositions, Maokai, Jarvan, it's a fairly strong team fighting team coming in from FunkyTown, whereas Team FilthyFresh has decent team fighting, although they are more of single target burst and assassin, the Akali and the Jax. Not much of AoE for them. So a 5v5 fight played right, and if Maokai peels properly against Akali and doesn't bother diving into the back line of the Caitlyn, it should result in Team FunkyTown coming out ahead. Let's see if they manage to accomplish such a team fight, because this is eventually just the amateur league, and we not often see the perfect fights, but we will see which one of these teams deserves this third place in the amateur league. When you have somebody like the Caitlyn, the long range, yeah, Caitlyn Nami is actually a fairly good combo in the bot lane, considering Caitlyn's auto. I mean, Caitlyn is pretty hard to reach, and Nami's E is a free red buff for Caitlyn. She could use it for kiting, and it makes it pretty much hard for anybody to catch the Caitlyn. But on the other hand, they don't need to focus the Caitlyn at all, like I pointed out. Maokai can just catch out the Jax in all the team fights. They could still come out ahead as far as Team FunkyTown don't fall behind in the early game too much. But they do have an Akali, which is a very snowbally champion, and FunkyTown has to pray that Akali doesn't get off to a very good start, because once she does, it is very hard to control an Akali. She'll just keep lifestealing most of the damage applied to her. So yeah, the mid lane is something which Vel'Koz would need help, especially after level 6. Vel'Koz should be completely safe pre-level 6. While Jax was in Maokai top lane, it's a skill matchup, I guess. Both champions are in really strong early game, but let's see how these people play it out. Captain Diablo fancies Mafia Jinx skin. As Rek'Sai has an Eternum Rek'Sai skin. That look, the splash out on Eternum Rek'Sai looks pretty cool. Always in the ILG, we have pause coming in at 5 seconds. And Jinx is the only one who's spotted Doran's blade at the moment. Everybody's just chilling, relaxing. They still got 10 more seconds to buy all their items. I'm done. Whereas Team Funky Town can actually invade at level 1 considering they have a stronger level 1 with the Morgana. Slow coming in from Jinx, long range W. Could also help in securing a kill or at least burning a flash. But let's see if they decide to invade in the first place. They do have Nami's bubble just in case they want to disengage, but Nami's bubble is comparatively hard to hit compared to a Morgana snare. But the Nami's bubble is more rewarding compared to the snare, arguably. It depends on the scenario, obviously. I personally prefer Nami's strengths over Morgana in lower yellows of gameplay, because Morgana is pretty. You have to play the champion really right for it to come out on top. You have to use the ultimate to peel, and not when you're playing support Morgana, you do not dive into the middle of the team, because you won't be having the damage, or in the early stages of the game not even an hourglass to sustain your ult proc. So yeah, Morgana is you need to play it right, whereas Nami could just chill back and just help the Caitlyn deal a lot of damage from behind. As game unpauses and the blue team on the bot side are looking grouped up and looking prepped up for an invade. Could this be an invade? The red team, that is FilthyFresh, is setting up. Standard starts for them. Maokai is what? Jinx gets spotted at Tribrush as Rek'Sai gets binded up and takes a lot of damage. Rek'Sai will be forced to base, but no kills will result, which this could actually mean the blue team, Funky Town, could actually put some wards deep inside team's jungle if they move together as a group, knowing that they do have a stronger level 1. Vel'Koz, Morgana, and the Rek'Sai is also low on HP, so Team FilthyFresh cannot fight at this very instant if the blue team manages to invade, but they just want to play it safe and not take any risks. As you see Maokai actually going for the funny raid start where he'll just get to level 2 quick and he'll just teleport to top lane. So it could give him an early upper hand for the Maokai in terms of levels. And considering it is an even matchup between the Maokai and the Jax early stage, it could favor the likes of Maokai once he hits a level above Jax this early in the game. As Jarvan actually picks up the red buff for start instead of the Grom or the 2 minions on the bot side of the map. Mid lane, you see Vel'Koz should have an upper hand pre-level 6 over the Akali. She should, and a snare and a bubble coming perfectly from both the supports. Good skill shots, good show of skill from both teams in the bot lane. Fair bit of poke. While you do see the Maokai has a level advantage, but he hasn't managed to do any damage to the Jax with the level advantage. And we see the Nami getting bubbled again, snared. And Caitlyn actually getting taken real low. Caitlyn needs to use a range advantage and get the early advantage with the range, but she's not accomplishing that at this moment, which is what I spoke about during Champion Select. When a Caitlyn at this stage of the game gets this heavily poked by a Jinx, it will mean a lot of trouble in the mid game for the Caitlyn, because the Jinx is arguably better in the mid game compared to the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is one of the weakest mid game champions. A spell shield comes in, but it is too late, and Jinx finally takes a lot of poke and will be forced out of lane, I guess. And meanwhile, Maokai goes a little aggressive. A gank coming in the mid lane, forces a flash on the Vel'Koz. While we see Jarvan camping at top lane against the Jax, but the Jax does have no idea of. He's in no mood to come out of the turret as of now, because if he does, he will get taken out a solo kill by the Maokai himself. Jarvan doesn't even need to be there. Probably Jarvan is just standing there to make sure he doesn't get ganked by the Rek'Sai. As you do see the Jax coming out, making a huge mistake. While the EQ coming from the Jarvan, as we see the Jax actually makes it out without a flash. I don't know how the hell that happened. If they had played it right, they should have managed to get the kill onto the Jax. He was low, he was outside the turret. They had two big CCs coming onto the Jax, and still I don't know what they did wrong. Nonetheless, pressure going on the top lane against the Jax. Maokai is bullying him out, thanks to the early level advantage as well. As you see, Maokai is currently level 5 as opposed to Jax being level 4. As Morgana goes in a little too forward and takes a lot of free poke, Jinx wasn't even in range to do anything about it. But Morgana has a couple of health pots to do in. Maokai, though healthy in the top lane, is running low on mana. Jax is comparatively healthy at this very instant. Maokai doesn't have enough damage on his part to take down Jax at this very instant, so no action is gonna come out of the top lane time soon. Whereas Vel'Koz has spammed a lot of mana onto the Akali, and the Akali is actually outfarming the Vel'Koz, and a nice juke coming from the Akali to get out of the Jarvan's EQ combo. And that's actually fairly good playing by Akali. While this Jax is playing very on the edge of destruction. While Nami gets stunned by Nami could go down here. Heal being burnt while Jinx is burnt of flash, not the wisest of trades. But Morgana will put some pressure back onto the Caitlyn, but Caitlyn Morgana forced the flash as well. Steps over a Caitlyn trap. Unnecessary damage taken by both bot laners actually. Meanwhile, Jax teleports in back to the top lane. So Maokai still has his teleport, which means he has a teleport advantage. He could help his team take Dragon and then move on to the top lane. You see Jax going aggressive. Rek'Sai comes in for a gank. Maokai still does have a flash. He does flash, and he will manage to survive it. So yeah. Flash burnt, which means Maokai cannot keep pushing his lane as much as he kept doing all this while. While we see a roam coming in from Akali toward the bot lane. Morgana is still on his way from base. While Maokai decides to stick in the lane, and could this be a kill for the Jax? First blood goes for the Jax. Very well played. A huge mistake coming in from the Maokai's part actually, but mistake has been punished. Good for deserving first blood for the Jax. Jax is actually going for the Trinity Force build instead of BOTRK. Going to be fairly strong in the mid game during the dragon fight stage compared to the Maokai, especially since he's head right now. The first dead is going to help him out a real lot. We see Jarvan almost getting executed by the red buff, but thanks to the red buff smite, he gets some health of it back. Maokai actually teleported back to the top lane. He could have actually helped his team get the dragon, but considering he just lost first blood, he just wants to secure a little bit of farm back. Mid lane matchup is going fairly in the strong for the Akali because she has managed to out-sustain the early levels. She has hit level 7, she has a ult, she can go aggressive on the Vel'Koz, and as long as if Vel'Koz actually wastes her E, the Akali could go all in and could probably get a kill onto the Vel'Koz. But let's see, as we do see Vel'Koz getting ganked, a counter gank coming in from the Jarvan, and a very good kill picked up by the Vel'Koz. The counter gank pays off. Well, Vel'Koz had no flash in mid, but that is why Rek'Sai probably appeared mid, but Jarvan's counter gank paid off. Meanwhile, both top lane is going really low in the top lane, while Nami is going really low. The traps are behind her, ulti by Caitlyn takes her rear, Jinx really low, both bot laners really low. Good bubble onto the Morgana. This should be the kill for the Caitlyn, and Nami kills Morgana and Caitlyn kills Jinx. So double kill for the red team, and meanwhile we see Jarvan making another good gank at top, managing to secure a kill onto the Maokai against the Jax. So much action happening at the same time for both teams. Meanwhile, we see Dragon being started off by Team FilthyFresh. They do seem to be fairly healthy, and that is an uncontested Dragon. Good call. Knowing that the bot laners were just killed, they get a free dragon. So, and blue buff, who will the blue buff go to? Caitlyn being given the blue buff. I would rather give the blue buff to the Nami, because she could just do a lot of harass with the poke, with the heal, and help the Caitlyn to sustain more. The Caitlyn getting the mana blue buff isn't too much of an advantage compared to the Nami, especially in these early levels. But nonetheless, some free XP for the Caitlyn, and nobody would complain of a free buff given to them. And as we see another pause coming, so far it's a 1,500 goal lead in favor of Team FilthyFresh, thanks to the double kill at bot lane and also the Jax picking up first blood. Jarvan has made some incredible counter ganks and he's shown his pressure at top as well. So the Jarvan is looking good on his jungle paths, whereas the Rek'Sai hasn't been so successful, but he is fairly farmed up compared to the Jarvan, so not too much of a difference. The Rek'Sai is comparatively strong 1v1 as opposed to the Jarvan, so despite the Jarvan being ahead in kills, the Rek'Sai could still actually manage to kill the Jarvan if she sidesteps Jarvan's EQ or just manages to flash it or tunnel over it. Rek'Sai could actually outplay the Jarvan. She could just counter jungle the Jarvan. That is one of the key weaknesses of Jarvan, despite him being one of the strongest gankers. Meanwhile, Vel'Koz puts in a lot of poke onto the Akali, but Akali has bought a Hextech revolver, which means she should be able to spell vamp it all back. Another good bubble coming in from the Nami. Both these supports have been landing the skill shots really well. Meanwhile, gank by the Rek'Sai onto the Maokai. Maokai has no flash for the next few seconds, but he will be tanky enough to survive the burst from both the Jax and the Rek'Sai. But he will be forced out of lane. He has to back unless Maokai does the same mistake what Jax did. Oh wait, no, Maokai is actually making the same mistake the second time. He got killed the first time making the same mistake, but Jax is nowhere in sight. Meanwhile, a good gank coming in from the Jarvan forces the flash out of the Caitlyn. Oh, sorry, the Nami, and decent gank, though no kills result from it. Vel'Koz roaming doesn't offer much of a deal. Kali follows up, but everybody's safe. They could just go back to farming. Meanwhile, the top just seems to be a farm fest at this point. 86 is to 79 in farm. Slight minion deficit for the Jax, but he did pick up the first blood, so that 100 gold has got to mean something. Meanwhile, Jax is losing out the trades against the Maokai. We do see though Caitlyn finally putting on some good pressure with a range against the Jinx. Vel'Koz is actually trying to poke out the Akali when she has so many minions under the tower. She should rather focus on killing the minions instead of harassing, because Akali is pretty well farmed at this point and she has a Hextech revolver, which means she should be able to spell vamp it all. Jarvan comes in mid. He does put a pink ward to spot out the Akali, but Akali does manage to just walk away. Jarvan had no Cataclysm available, which means Akali will manage to walk away freely. Meanwhile, Jinx suffering a lot of harass and poke from the Nami Caitlyn lane, as expected, as it's supposed to happen. And Vel'Koz misses her E, and that's the point when, that's the point when the Akali can aggress onto the Vel'Koz, but Jarvan being there has managed to. That was actually a good bait coming from the Vel'Koz, messing our E, caused Akali to actually move forward, and Jarvan with the Cataclysm manages to pick up an easy kill onto the Akali. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai goes on to the Maokai for 10th time. Jarvan does come up for a counter gank. This will be a close battle as Maokai is taken low. Maokai can actually kill Rek'Sai probably because he's 2 levels above him, but no, Maokai was pretty low on mana as well, so better play it safe. They got 1 kill. They killed the Jax, might as well not risk an assist. So, but that did mean a forced flash onto the Maokai, which means Rek'Sai will again show up on top. We do see Morgana getting really low, and the ult would have actually killed her. The heal being burnt by Jinx will save Morgana, but that is a lot of summoners burnt at the bot lane just to keep them alive. Dragon is up in 30 seconds. What will the top laners do about this? Jax has a teleport, he is moving to the top lane, whereas Maokai has no teleport and he is spotted moving top at this very instant. This should mean that if the team FilthyFresh is in the right minds, they should be able to take the dragon for free the second time as well. The bot lane is also comparatively stronger, with the Caitlyn managing to land heavy pokes onto the opponent bot lane. and they have a teleport available on the Jax if required. So Caitlyn shouldn't be teleporting at this instant. They have the timer on the dragon. Might as well go do it right now. But Maokai is actually pushing out the lane. As we see Maokai and Jax going head to head. Maokai using his ult. Jax does come ahead in that trade. He has completed his Phage and Sheen on his way to completing his Trinity Force, and he will have a power spike compared to the Maokai, who's just building playing tank at the moment. He has got Righteous Glory. As Maokai punishes Jax a little bit. Meanwhile, Akali goes aggressive. This is why we don't see too much of Akali's in the pro levels, because Akali, when she has to all in, can get counter ganked and killed, like we saw Jarvan do a few minutes ago. But nonetheless, Jinx is putting a lot of damage onto the bot lane tower. Could this mean the death of the bot tower? It is half HP, but the tower will survive as Caitlyn joins bot lane, and Jinx actually taking a lot of damage from the Jinx. Nami. About the farm, Maokai is leading Jax by a fair amount, but Jax is the stronger duelist. He is a stronger 1v1er compared to the Maokai. But Maokai should offer more in team fights, so Maokai has to use this to his advantage. Maokai has back, and now Maokai has to just walk in toward the dragon, try and make a play for the dragon. Jinx has just bought her item from base. Jinx has picked up an BF sword. She does have an average blade to make up for a little of the gold deficit she's suffering from the Caitlyn Nami poke. Meanwhile, Jarvan EQs, but Rek'Sai will manage to secure the dragon. Rek'Sai taken low, will flash out. Blue team seems to be coming out in this team fight, and yes, and Jax flashes in and will secure the kill onto the Jarvan. Jax is the only guy he shouldn't be following there. Jax is the only guy alive. Meanwhile, there are 4 people on the side of Team Funky Town, but Jax will leap strike over to a ward and will manage to survive this. That was actually a team fight one for Team Funky Town, but they did lose a dragon for it. But they should be able to put a lot of pressure onto the mid turret in exchange. While Jax is doing the right thing by clearing out the minions. We see both the AD carries poking each other out. Jinx is actually missing a lot of CS. She's 100 CS in 20 minutes, which is not a whole of a lot compared to the Caitlyn sitting on 158. So basically she's 3 kills above Caitlyn in terms of 20 CS equals 1 kill. So that does mean a heavy 1 lane for the Caitlyn. Caitlyn could actually go really aggressive, seeing that Jinx is taken really low and she does still have her ult. Jarvan actually shows up at the right time at bot, just in case they were in real danger, but they do back out or not. They're still sticking. If you ask me, bot lane, Jinx and Morgana should just base at the moment. Jax being taken low on the top lane right now. So far it's been a long laning phase this game. No team actually trying to force out any real fights, which actually plays out in the favor of Team FilthyFresh, since they have the stronger duelists. And a flash being forced out of the Jarvan Rek'Sai is really scary. The Rek'Sai is very strong in these early levels, especially against somebody like Jarvan. While the red team actually finally makes a play toward the bot lane. Good Nami tidal wave coming in. It will result in Morgana dying. Vel'Koz decides to join, but it will be pretty late. But that will mean a free mid turret taking. So yeah, it is a one-to-one exchange in towers. While top lane Maokai takes out that tower, but Jax is going to kill the Maokai here. He's a stronger duelist, and yes, Powers has slain Deathwow, sorry. Good kill picked up by the Jax. And that was actually the power of the Trinity Force kicking in. Maokai did have a he just picked up a frozen heart. Meanwhile, Caitlyn putting in a lot of pressure onto the mid turret. This is what they should do. Caitlyn has a really long range and she's a very strong siege champion. Caitlyn is doing this right because they know that Jinx is very weak at this very instant. They have to keep pressuring the turrets with the Caitlyn. Finally, we see an end to the lane phase at minute 23 in this game. Comparatively long one. That pink ward has been sitting in that bush for like ever, and Morgana finally spots it out. So that's actually a pink ward that was worth the money. Gave them a lot of vision for a prolonged period of time. Meanwhile, Jarvan gets spotted out at top. Dragon is spawning in less than a minute. Nami is moving in to put some vision down. Or not, she's just clearing out that one ward. Meanwhile, you do see the Jinx, she's pressurized to just farm the jungle minions because she is at risk because Akali is missing from the map. They have no vision where the Akali is, and the Rek'Sai could just teleport out of nowhere, and the bot lane is really strong on Team FilthyFresh side. So yeah, as we see Caitlyn finally again pressuring the mid turret, doing the right thing. They have to do keep this up. Meanwhile, Jarvan goes aggressive. He goes a little too ahead. Jarvan, good lockdown, but he will go down. Vel'Koz being taken low. Jax solo killing two of the carries there. Jax going completely berserk there. Maokai was too late to the party. He was never even in the fight. So this is just a lack of communication. Maokai never had his TP. He just used his teleport to get back to his lane. This is actually a very wrong way to play the top lane, if you ask me. You're not supposed to ever teleport to top unless you see a bunch of minions stacked up onto your turret. You're just supposed to save your teleport and look for opportunities because you will manage to you will help out your team and get that goal back in favor of your team instead of just getting it on for yourself. You're just a tank. It doesn't require you to have be all that tanky. You just need to be a little tanky. You just make sure you're there in the fights because Maokai, as opposed to Jax, is stronger in fights if played right. And Maokai has to make sure that he never wastes his teleport just to get back to lane. And Caitlyn is back to doing what she does best. She's going to start sieging the mid turret again. Rek'Sai does ult. just going into the jungle farm. Rexa should start moving toward the mid turret. Everybody has to group up to the mid turret team. They have good goal lead at the moment. Team FilthyFresh has a 4,000 goal lead. They have to, pressure the mid turret with the Caitlyn. Meanwhile, at bot, Jinx actually manages to get a bunch of free farm, and she is actually poor. They just dropped at the moment. They just gave away a free turret for nothing. Okay. Excuse me. My apologies. As another team fight breaks, this time it looks like it is a 2-for-4 exchange. Red team is again coming out on top. Maokai be joining in late again, I guess. Gets beautifully bobbled up by the Nami. Rexa will knock her up, and this will result in the Maokai going down. Caitlyn picks up that kill. Caitlyn is fairly fat at the moment. Very farmed up with 217 minutes in 28 minutes. 2-1-2, and the Jax has got a bunch of kills, 6-3 to 193 minions. And the Maokai, though he's comparatively fat, he's not offering a lot to the team. So he has to realize his errors and try and join every fight that his team is taking. But Blue team has to make sure they don't end up taking a lot of fights, because they have to realize that they are behind. They are 3 dragons behind, and the next dragon is going to come up in a few minutes as well. So if Team FilthyFresh manages to secure 5 dragons, they will manage to get a lot of free objectives, not to mention free Baron as well maybe, because once you get the 5 stacks on the dragon, you're pretty much unstoppable. Some argue that the 5 stacks on the dragon is stronger than a single Baron buff itself. So Team FilthyFresh looks very set, and so all Team FunkyTown can do right now is wait it out and see if they can take the game to the late game phase, where the Jinx can actually get her items back and stay relative to the Caitlyn. Meanwhile, the Jinx actually face checks the Jax, but Jax was pretty isolated. He will leap strike away. A lot of defensive walls coming for Team FunkyTown. That's what they have to do, put out a lot of defensive walls, make sure where the opponents are, make sure you don't give up a free Baron in the process. Akali goes onto the Jarvan, but Akali gets comboed by the Jarvan, and Jarvan could go aggressive here, and Akali life steals most of it back, but he's just doing all the damage to the Jarvan or to the mid lane. Jarvan will go down. Jax picks up a double kill. Vel'Koz doing a lot of damage from behind. The ult was perfect, but they are just so far behind in gold. Maokai comes in at the back, and he has no damage whatsoever. He's just tanky. He just ran into a bunch of fed low health guys. He will not be able to clean up anybody. Team FilthyFresh makes a clean ace, an ace for nothing, which means a 10,000 goal lead, and they're just pushing for the inhibitor turret. They should probably go for the Baron right now, because they will not be able to get the inhibitor. They could possibly get the Baron and get out, but they do want the inhibitor. They have a couple of. They will manage to secure the inhibitor. As Akali does get slowed down. But the disengage from the Nami is real strong. Bubbles from Nami have been perfect this game. It has helped the Caitlyn snowball her lane, as well as set up a couple of the team fights. Meanwhile, we see FunkyTown actually heading toward the Baron area. Could this be a desperation Baron for them? Red team has to back after this. They just had a team fight. While we do see the dragon is actually live, so two big objectives on the map up for the taking. But considering the team FilthyFresh is actually 10,000 gold up ahead in the lead, they are looking good despite not having a stronger team comp, as in team fight comp. The red team should just go ahead and do this dragon. There's nothing stopping them. They should know that they are winning all the fights and they are very ahead in terms of global gold. Good snare coming in from Morgana, trying to steal over the dragon, but that goes in vain. As Jax is actually laughing it out right in Maokai's face, knowing that he is the better top laner in this game. The blue team has the essential tools to actually survive this. They have the Vel'Koz for good wave clear, and not to mention Morgana's soil is going to help as well. So if they manage to stick under the turret, let the red team take the objectives, just hope for any picks, cocky moves made by Team FilthyFresh, and that's when they could actually pick up a couple of kills. But if they, the blue team should just wait for late game at this point. They shouldn't go out of the turrets at all. As we see a lot of red team wards spread out everywhere across the map. Actually, the wards are more toward the middle side of the map. I'm surprised why Team FilthyFresh hasn't put up any deep wards, considering they are so far ahead and they can afford to invade the entirety of Team FunkyTown's jungle. The red team shouldn't be farming their own jungle, they should be farming FunkyTown's jungle. As a pink ward gets spotted out and taken by Rek'Sai. I do have to mention the Jarvan had a lot of good ganks early game, a lot of good counter ganks, but a couple of bad decisions. But as Maokai actually flashes in and goes aggressive out of Jax, Jax is isolated. Who is laughing now? Jax, says Maokai, but Jax will flash away to safety, and Jax again starts spamming his laughter. He is comparatively healthy. Jax has actually gone BOTRK, Randomins and Trinity Foes. He is very strong in 1v1ing anybody right now. As Akali goes in the front line, going out of Jinx actually being bursted on so much. Akali being taken down low as well, so mid laner for AD carry pretty much taken out of the fight, but Akali could actually lifesteal most of it back from the minions at mid, or just get healed by the Nami instead. Being FilthyFresh, instead of just baiting out Baron, they are just putting pressure onto the second tier turret. Which is a fair decision, considering they are already up so ahead and they are winning all the fights. They don't need a Baron, they don't want to risk the Baron being stolen away. As Jarvan actually face checks, he gets caught out. Nami's bubble yet again on point. Maokai will come there, but Maokai is isolated himself. He does have the tower nearby. So that actually did force a flash on the Jarvan. So he will not be able to make any fancy Jarvan EQ flash plays anytime soon. Meanwhile, we see a turret dive onto the Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz gets taken on, will be forced to flash. Morgana gets taken low. A good bubble forcing Morgana not to go too behind as we see the inhibitor taken on. Inhibitor does go down. Jax getting taken I'm sorry. That was just a turret dive. The inhibitor is still there. The turret is still there. That was a horrible turret dive gone wrong for Jax and Rek'Sai. I don't know why they dived in that deep. Yes, they are ahead, but if you take so much damage from the turret when you're just mostly damage Jax, it's still going to go down in favor of blue team despite the goal deficit they have. But nonetheless, they did manage to clean up Vel'Koz and bot. Vel'Koz's flash was burnt as well, and Vel'Koz being one of the high damage immobile champions without the flash is left a little. I mean, she has to feel insecure without her flash. She has to play it very safe at the back. Okay, this is the point when Baron could actually be baited. But they don't want to do it. They are yet again seen heading toward the bot side. They desperately want the second tier bot turret. And this time they want to all five stick as a team to do it. Probably realized diving isn't the best option as it just resulted in a 1-for-1 kill and bot Jax for Vel'Koz was exchanged. You see the strong wave clear of the Jinx? That Q damage AoE from the Jinx is doing work. Meanwhile, that's Dragon number 5. That is a fully stacked up team FilthyFresh. Yeah, really strong at the moment. They can afford to take up any fight right now. This Jax is showing no fear, man. He's just playing too cocky at the moment. As we see, Vel'Koz is actually disconnecting at this very instant. They should have a pause time of 10. Team FunkyTown should be able to pause this game. I don't know why they have not called in for a pause. Rek'Sai is actually ulted top lane. I wonder why. They could have just pressured the bot turret. They have the Fire Dragon buff. They are paying for the Baron. So, not the worst of calls. Jax does have a teleport and he is split pushing the second tier turret. He will manage to finally take it down. And Dragon, this looks like an uncontested Baron as well. And yes, it is 5 Dragons and a Baron and a 15,000 gold lead, 12 to 23 in kills. As Jinx almost got bubbled up, but nonetheless Rek'Sai flashes in and knocks her up, resulting in the Jinx going down. This is one of the reasons why Jinx is not one of the preferred carries unless you have a very strong healing team for you. And Jinx was just face checking right there. And I don't know why they are even fighting right there because they are baroned up and they don't have a carry. They should need a clean team fight for Team FilthyFresh. We see the Javin Mark, everybody going down. 50-second dead time on everybody. This should mean GG, guys. Jinx should be up in 20 seconds, but I do think that will not be enough because the super minions are flooding the base. Caitlyn doing so much damage to the turrets, and in minute 41 minutes, it will be GG. Well played by Team FilthyFresh.